Skills are an important facet of your favorite racers. You can train a UC unit and put it against my UE unit with only the finest of skills and still win because I don't remember what I trained Teo as. It's probably easiest to go over this in terms of color, so let's start with green. You can think of these as conditional skills since most of them activate when you're on a certain type of course. Bad track condition, for example, activates when the track is in poor conditions, such as dirt races or due to weather effects. Other skills like Fukushima Racetrack activate shockingly when you're on a Fukushima racetrack. Some green skills activate under extremely stringent conditions, like when your racer is at a particular starting gate or when there are no other racers that share your strategy. They almost always boost a stat or two, or sometimes even all of them. Next we got blue skills. These restore your stamina or keep you from getting tired. If you think of stamina as your HP, then you can see why you'd want to keep this as high as possible. Once a racer runs low on stamina, their acceleration and speed will naturally drop off as well, so it's important to keep your stamina high and recover it with these if you can. The majority of these skills activate under certain conditions for certain type of racers. For example, you might see some that only activate for a leader or chaser, and you might see some that activate in long distances or dirt races. They'll also either activate at random points during a race or when you meet certain conditions, such as when your stamina falls below preferable levels or when you move left or right. They also don't always recover stamina, but make you harder to tire out at certain points in the race as well. Let's take a small intermission to talk about a question you probably have at this point. Starting with the blue skills, you might be asking yourself the question, wow Gimlet, you're so cool and awesome, but what's the best skill to have for all these categories? Well, thanks to my intrepid research, it really comes down to what type of racer you have most of the time. Using the blue skills as an example, more often than not when you recover stamina, you'll recover anywhere between a smidge for normal rarity skills and slightly more than a smidge for gold skills. Don't even get me started on evolved or unique skills. It'll typically end up being the former unless it's in a certain condition, such as getting a late start or being at the back of the pack when you would need more recovery, but for the most part it's the same way it's treated across the board. Most skills in any category have the same or at least comparable recovery rate up or speed rate up effect, so in my opinion there's no real best skill per se, it's just a matter of picking the best option as far as your racer is concerned. Now, completely conversely to that point, we also have skills like Arc Maestro, which recovers stamina on every corner that a track has. And I don't know if you know about this, but most tracks have at least one corner. This is why you want to look out for conditions. Not all skills are like Arc Maestro, but when you can get effects that activate multiple times during a race or load up on skills that can get you in a better position in, say, the final spurt, then those are the ones that get in addition to the ones that activate for your racer's strategies. Back to skills now. There are a few yellow skills and the different icons will point to what they can do. The most prominent skill type you'll probably see is this one. This type of skill will increase your racer's speed, which I'm told can come in pretty handy for a race. These will increase your speed for a brief period of time, and they're the skills you're probably going to allocate most of your skill points to. You can get a speed boost when you're in a specific position, when you're running in a straight line, when you're taking a corner, when you're racing a specific distance, when you're late to take your dry cleaning out, and when you're out fishing. Pretty much anything you can think of. Archline Professor is a good skill that comes to mind for no reason in particular. Next we got this type of yellow skill, which will increase acceleration. Where your speed is your top velocity, think of your acceleration as your 0 to 100. When your racer makes their move, this will determine how fast they can make it to the front by reaching top speed. These can activate if you're blocked in, trying to overtake, or if you're not in the front. Betweeners and chasers make the most use out of these skills, and a good example of a good gold skill would be Switch Up Pro. Speaking of skills for betweeners and chasers, we have position skills. There aren't a lot of these, but they increase your lane movement speed a bit. They don't usually have activation effects, but they allow you to weave your way around or through a crowd and try to take the lead when the time is right. There are even fewer point of view skills to obtain, but basically what they do is widen your racer's field of vision and try to take a better position. These skills can activate during a random leg or when moving around in general. After that, we have the final few yellow skills, which can improve your start time during a race. This type of skill isn't really a make it or break it type of skill unless your runners or leaders really need it, but they're good to have. They also should get you some points in the team stadium. Then we have my favorite skills, the red skills. These skills all inflict panic or other debuffs to your opposing racers. Sometimes they even steal stats like Stamina Eater. Usually they come in handy for holding runners back or keeping chasers back in the chaser dimension. They activate at random points throughout the race and are great for intimidating and confusing your other racers so you can take advantage. Think of them as a blooper, except good. I will now get started on evolved and unique skills. When you level a character up, you'll get access to new gold skills. By meeting certain conditions, those skills will evolve. Agnes Tachyon gets access to Monopolizer and Race Planner at levels 3 and 5. Monopolizer will evolve into Pupil of Possibility at the end of training if you get at least 4 middle distance or at least 5 speed skills. Likewise, Race Planner will become Efficient Recreation if you can get 2 skills for the leader aptitude. There are other skills that can evolve depending on what scenario you're in as well. Some of these skills can come from sport cards in addition to characters. Unique skills, as you may have guessed, are skills that belong to one character and one character alone. Agnes Tachyon has a unique skill that activates if she's near the front during a corner in the second half of the race, which grants her a speed and stamina boost. Another character may have a similar effect, but no other character can get U equals MA squared outside of inheritance. And there we have all the skill types in umamusume. Now if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go invest in Symbole Rudolph SSR so I can get the most red skills at one time on Curran.